Loving you guys. Wishing you a fabulous and a beautiful life. My name is Dabi Vijay Kapoor. I'm the founder and CEO of Dabi Responsible Menswear. And this is my beautiful wife, Rakhi Kapoor, author Rakhi Kapoor. She is a serial author and she's written 25 amazing books. Now, when it comes to married couple, it's always about companionship. I always believe the most important part of any marriage is friendship, companionship. And thank you for being such an amazing and beautiful part of my life. Love you so
Pleasure.
much for that. Uh, we wanted to create this YouTube channel together because we wanted to discuss marriages are not just about, probably the mundane things about life, but marriages is all about being responsible for one another, being responsible for each other's dream, and helping each other bring out the best so that we are able to create something more beautiful. I need to tell you a few beautiful facts about us. We have an amazing 21-year-old son called as Ricky Kapoor, and he's doing his second year college. And together they build a very happy and a beautiful marriage. Now, life and marriage can get very mundane. That's why we always seek for friendship outside. So I've been asking myself this question. I've always asked Rakhi this question. Rakhi, what makes our lives that much more beautiful? Why is that we feel, keeping each other company is far more intellectually stimulating, and we had such amazing conversation. So I said we should take this conversation and put it out there in the world so that couples like us who want to intellectually stimulate themselves and who want to discuss much more than the mundane things of life can have a forum where they, sit and discuss. So one way we wanted to discuss is taking a one topic. She's written 25 amazing books. So today we're going to take up one book and we're going to speak about it. And the book's name is The Horseshoe Man. The Horseshoe Man by Rakhi Kapoor is nothing but a biography on her husband, Vijay Kapoor, who's an entrepreneur. That is me. And imagine how risky and what a dangerous part it is to let your wife write a biography about you. So, Rakhi, I just set the table for you. I want to listen to your insights about what we discussed.
Usually people think relationships are all about date, candlelight dinners, holidays, and the good things. That's okay when you're really dating and when you're not into marriage. But this is one thing that I would like to reach out to young couples and men, women both. When you get into a 24/7 relationship and when you get into a committed relationship, the ball game changes. So when Vijay came up with this idea that we should be talking about relationships and marriages, and not only marriages, but around the marriage, a lot of relationships and individual contribution to a marriage. I was very thrilled about this idea, and like if you see, I'm an author, so an author writes, and I have to tell you, I've written both fiction and non-fiction, but non-fiction is my forte. I've had four Amazon India bestsellers, which are again connected to man and a woman during the pregnancy, postnatal care, mood swings, and marriages. So, what happens in my life will reflect, along with my professional experience, being a physiotherapist, being a counselor. So I was very thrilled with this idea, and I'm sure. And this channel is just not going to be about, you know, did you buy me a gift, or did you take me on a date, or do you just give me attention, or did you say the thing that I want to hear? It's not. It's a lot of that. It's going to be fun, but it's also going to be more deeper and profound stuff that keeps a relationship anchored and grounded.
Wow, that's really profound. So, what, according to you, keeps a relationship, anchored?
Okay, what anchors a relationship is there are two aspects to it. One is the individual's relationship with themselves. So, what is my relationship with myself? My self esteem levels, my purpose in life, how I see myself, and then the reflection of the other in my eyes, how I see the other person. So, there are two aspects. I think I will add the third aspect because I think the world and the society also plays a role. But primarily, yeah, these three aspects.
Fabulous. So I like to put it in three baskets. My relationship with myself. Unless and until I don't learn to like myself, love myself, I can never love the world because what I have is what I can share. If I'm filled with love, I can share my love with you. But I'm filled with anger, I can only share my anger with the world. So my relationship with myself is very, very important. In fact, I love what Swami Vivekananda once said. He's not an atheist who doesn't believe in in God, but he is an atheist who doesn't believe in himself. Effectively, what Swami Vivekananda was trying to explain to us was, what the use of you believing in the creator if you don't believe in his creation, that is yourself. So if you don't believe in yourself, you don't love yourself, you will never be able to love anybody else. Second, your relationship with the world around you. That is very, very important, because none of us are islands. We all need the world. We need to live with people. So if you have a beautiful relationship with others, you can, build yourself and have a beautiful community to live. And the third most important, your relationship with the divine. Unless until you're not spiritually rooted, unless until you don't feel the divinity within you, you will never be able to get both of these, and the fulfillment in life will not come. Fabulous. I love the whole concept. Now, taking the conversation forward, we speak about marriages and how it is, and we speak about the 7 year hitch.
Hmm.
Is it true?
The 7 year itch is statistics and research has proven that 7 years down the line, a lot of marriages go through a lot of turbulence. I think one reason is by the end of 7 years, most couples have their kids and they are settled down into the marriage. And yeah, the research is true. So after 7 years, there are a lot of couples, and I think that the dynamics of the relationship has changed a lot. From dating or from a courtship, you become new couples. Then you become, parents. And by the end of 7 years, I think the children are not exactly independent, but slightly older. So what happens is the husband and wife, they look at each other because they've been so busy building the marriage, establishing the relationship with the family, then bringing the child, pregnancy and childbirth. I think it takes a lot of time away from each other. So after 7 years, bang on, they just stare at each other and said, "Wow, where am I?" So what all has happened, or where are we? So what all has happened in that 7 years course? I think there's an accountability check that is taken at the end of
Absolutely.
seven
I
years.
think in the first 7 years of marriage, like you rightly said, the man, I'm going to speak from the man's perspective. He's so busy, effectively building his career. He's so busy, trying to win the world outside. At the same time, trying to devote time to his family. Initially, his wife, because he's brought her. He adopts a man or woman adopts a relationship into the marriage. That's how marriages are built. So you adopt someone into your thing, you bring her in, and then you're trying to build a relationship with her. And incidentally, within 7 years, most of them have a child. So you're busy trying to get the child's thing up and all that. So at that point of time, you're not able to, invest enough time of quality time with each other. And especially when the wife goes through pregnancy with the hormonal changes that she goes through. And it's not easy when you have a child, and especially when the child is toddler for the first few years. The entire world of the wife, she gets into motherhood, her entire life and her outlook shifts from the husband, who used to be the hero material, to the child who becomes the hero material. A world changes, and at that point of time, things start to slip away. Is it true? Am I getting it right, or am I getting it?
No, you've hit the nail right on the head. Yes, what happens? See, one is during the pregnancy is a woman is absolutely confused because she's going through a plethora of changes in her body and mind. By the time she can take care of herself, and the pressure of being a good mother from the start of the pregnancy, a good mother, this mother element is too much. It's too much pressure on us women. And you can't help it. Like even little girls, forget waiting to get married and then having a baby. We are nurturing, we are loving. It's a neighbor's child, nieces, nephews. The girls are taking care of them. The pets, right? I'm not saying man. It's not that. It's not a man's forte, but a woman are more inclined. It's just been there for centuries and it's been ingrained, and that's why the womb or the uterus belongs to the woman. So she's so busy dealing with herself, then dealing with her child, and then she just forgets. And I think it's this is where it makes a difference, that we don't genderize. This the word doesn't exist in the dictionary, but we don't genderize the roles. Just because a woman has a uterus and the man doesn't have a pair of breasts, it doesn't mean that we can't intermingle our responsibilities. And same way, this whole thing is broken. We have broken this myth that man has to be the primary breadwinner. Women are walking shoulder to shoulder, supporting them, and they have their aspirations and dreams. So yes, she's so busy taking care of herself and her child that she kinds of takes this. Already marriages are taken for granted relationship. Oh, we have this wedding ring, and oh, we have this mangal sutra, in India, in the Indian cultures. So we are hooked forever, and that's it. Yes, so it does take a lot of toll and attention away from the couples, and that's the reason why when I started my practice as a prenatal counselor, I involved every man into the pregnancy, so that they can wherever they can be together, they could do this together, so that they don't feel like strangers after the whole thing.
Fabulous. I think it's so beautiful to hear this from you because I've always believed that probably the child grows in the, in the mother's womb, but for a man, the child grows in his heart, and it's so difficult, especially speaking from the Indian context of being family, and it's so difficult because men generally do not get involved during the pregnancy. They're so alienated from the woman because a lot of women go over to their mom's place during pregnancy for a few months, 5 months for the delivery. Until the child is a few months old, she doesn't come back. So the connect between a father and the child, the father and the wife, and the men used to, now it's changing. They never used to be allowed to get into the delivery room. They didn't know how to connect. They didn't know how to serve. And it's so important to serve. It's so important to serve your wife. It's so important to serve the child. I'm using the word serve with a purpose because only when you do that, you get the intimacy. You get attached to what you serve, and that's the law of life. When you start serving your wife and taking care of her nuances, understanding she's bearing your child, understanding that she's going through certain physical changes, understanding that her changes are not because she wants the changes, but because
It's
we took the
nature.
decision to bring a beautiful child into this world, and it's a hormonal change that's taking place. If men are given to understand that, I've always said this, I've also always claimed, because I've been an example of that, men are dumb. Men are dumb in that sense that we need someone to tell us how to take care of women. It doesn't come naturally to us. We are made to go out there into the world. We are made to go out there and win the world, but we don't know how to win our own women at home. We don't know how to treat them. We don't know how to take care of them. If a man falls sick, a woman can take care of him beautifully, knowing exactly what has to be done to take care. But a woman falls sick, a man will not do even know how to take care of her. For him, it's only, go take the tablet, you'll be all right. Go sleep, you'll be all right. He doesn't know how to actually give care. And care is not about the tablet, but it's about the love that goes with it. So men have to be taught, and that's something which is missing in the Indian context. How I wish we could bring it back. So thank you so much for bringing this up. And speaking about the 7 year itch that we're speaking, did you want to discuss about what we went through the whole period? You think that's
Okay.
okay with you?
Yeah, that's actually fine by me. But I want to go back to this one thing that we were talking about, that the man doesn't understand how a woman feels because the changes are happening in her body and not in his. So this is for the woman out there. As a professional, 20 years into this, practice, into my practice, and as a woman, I would like to say, whether you like it or not, the caveman, from the beginning of civilization, or from the beginning of the non-civilization living, the man was supposed to go there and fend for the woman, and the women were nurtured very well because population was scarce. You could just die anytime. You could get bitten by a poisonous snake. You could fall off the cliff. You were hunted, and you were not just hunted by animals. You were hunted by the tribes, another person. So that's why the woman was kept very safely inside, and the man would be looking, fighting, providing, and that's genetically ingrained over the generations. So what happens is, during a marriage, and especially during a pregnancy between a couple, the man takes the coming of a child into this world very, very seriously. And that's when I have seen most men, what they start doing is they start working hard. Working hard means more hours at work, more hours away from the wife. That's how they deal with it. And see, this is the time you need to understand that even if both the couples are working, the man understands that I need to probably step back. I need to probably I need to make sure that if she has to take a break from being the earning member, I should be able to give it to her. So that's when he steps up his financial, responsibilities. So that's another reason that I realized that the 7 year itch came along, especially between the both of us, because he was like relentless. One thing I knew, that I was getting married to you because he had dreams and ambitions, and that's the reason I chose him. I chose him. I have to accept that. I didn't ask for anything easy, and I knew what I was getting into. And yeah, so growing the brand, being a good father, trying to be there with me, with the nuances, with the perfection, with the imperfections. Then after my 7 years, I got into this thing that I need to start living my life. And I was not seeing that kind of a commitment. Like, I ran his second store. I managed his second store till I was 8.5 months pregnant with the stomach around. I worked with him to make our brand grow. But when I was starting my practice, I didn't see that kind of commitment in him. And that's when I said that, yeah, I just decided we serve you oats, which is his favorite. He's still 25 years and he's still having oats for breakfast. Okay. And papayas, his favorite fruit, and papers from my lawyer. That this will not go on.
I was an asshole with a capital letter.
Yes, I did. I did. And I have no this thing about it. I hope you are not, you also don't regret the decision.
Serve me breakfast, and along with that, he served me the divorce papers that they cannot be smoked without a fire.